You assess Brandon Peters' game, and did he do enough to earn another start?
He really acquitted himself well. Moved the football team. Played very, very well. Yeah, he did a lot. And from the first time he went in there, just feeling the deep zone and feeling the linebackers drop and just taking that extra half second to take a breath and hit the check down. Was good ball. He was good.
Coach Brandon himself said his biggest advance from fall camp is communication. How much has he addressed the things that you talked about before the season?
Well, he's made big strides. I mean, really good in that area. Yeah, it's been and was good out there today. So.
Jim, what did you see on the touchdown pass to Chris Evans?
I thought Chris made a heck of a catch on it. I thought Brandon saw it well, good protection, and Brandon put it a little short, but Chris adjusted well to the ball and made a nice catch.
And then the next time out, he had a 2-minute drill. What impressed you the most about Brandon's game today?
Today, well, the things I talked about earlier. I mean, just that he was playing the position. He was playing good ball. 2-minute drill. I think that's definitely, that's a real bright spot. To go in there. I mean, was it his second drive? I think, and get organized and get our team organized in the 2-minute drill on the field. That's something a quarterback doesn't usually have happen to them on their second drive of playing football. But yeah, I think it went really well for him today. That was great to see.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, the quarterback position has been one of really high contention all season long by the fan base. At what moment did you decide it was right to make the switch to Peters, and why?
We had made that decision before the game that he was going to play in the game, and we're going to put him in. It was time for him to play.
Coach, outside of a few plays that the defense gave up today, how happy were you in their performance today compared to last week at Penn State?
I just keep admiring how hard they play. Our guys are really competing, really working, straining when they're out there. I think that showed up defensively. 40-some plays, and they give up 50-some yards, and 3 plays where we gave up over 100. But that hard-working unit, and played very well today.
Jim, I'm curious, when Brandon does go in the game for you, you guys had obviously prepared him as best you thought you could, but at some point he has to go in the game. What are you thinking as a coach when it's like, okay, you're in, we'll see? I mean, what was your, were you nervous for him? Did you expect him to go out and play well, or what was your? I'm curious what's going on in your head at that point.
No, I mean, I thought he was ready. I mean, you base a lot of things on practice. Good in practice, good in the games. And now that's not always the case, especially with young players. Some guys sometimes they're not good in the games, and they're good in practice. But it was great to see him be good in the game too. That was good. And that's that young players when they're good in the games, that helps their confidence. That builds the confidence. But we all felt good. Nobody was. We weren't nervous about what was going to happen. We thought he'd do good. I think he did better than everybody thought too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was yes. I was, you know, you go in and move the consistent. I mean, every drive he was moving the team, and touchdown drive on the 2-minute drill, and 80-yard drive or 75-yard drive to start his first series in football, starting quarterback in college. That was, I would think that it would be very good for his confidence, and and build on it. We'll look to build on that.
Jim, you had 200-yard rushers, and the pass blocking looked better as well. Could you assess both sides of the blocking game for you, the run and pass blocking?
Yeah, I thought our running backs played extremely well, but you have to start and give the credit to the offensive line. A lot of credit to the offensive line. There's some nice big holes. Coach Drevno, nice job with the run scheme. I mean, we had some very good schemed up runs, and they were executed extremely well. Tight ends, fullbacks, receivers, and especially the offensive line. The pass pro was very good as well. Mm-hmm. Played good up front. Played physical. I mean, it wasn't going to be. Well, didn't think it was going to be real nice out there. It was going to be physical.
Jim, you mentioned
And our guys
Brandon.
responded.
Oh, you mentioned Brandon had been good, getting better and better in communication and practice and stuff, and I assume that goes to the loudness thing that you were looking for. Was there a breakthrough moment in a practice to where, I don't know, he busted through a shell to a certain degree? Did you see something at a particular moment?
Yeah, there was. I mean, probably late in training camp, it was like, wow, he's a lot louder. He is a lot louder. He is, he's really doing a job. That sounds good. That sounds real. And yeah, he's been good. And I think we talked about it last week. You guys were asking me where things were, and I always look at it as a process. And now for a couple weeks, good couple weeks now, we felt that he was ready, and it's time to make a bird leaving the nest. I mean, kids leaving the house and going off on their own. I mean, it's time. It was time, right? Right, Dad? I mean, me and my dad talked about that last week and this week. I mean, it was just time.
Jim, you mentioned the plan to put Brandon in the game a day. Is the plan going forward use both of them in games, or is Brandon your starting quarterback?
We'll see. Right now, I feel really good about the way he played, and feel good about him. Now taking the next step and being the starting quarterback, and getting a great week of now knowing that he's the starting quarterback in practice. And as I sit here now, that's the way I feel about it.
Jim, you talked about the defensive intensity from the get-go. How much was that due to, like, Mo Hurst? Very first play from scrimmage, he ends up drops a sack. And how much does he mean to that defensive intensity?
A lot. There's times in the practice where, I mean, he's unblockable. I mean, he just wrecks everything, and then he does that in the games too. It's very impressive. I thought our whole front was impressive, and again, I just go back to the way they play so hard. It's the hard work, the strain, it really shows up in the games. The way Mo plays, Rashawn, Monet. Great to see Aubrey Solomon get his first start today. Thought he acquitted himself very well as well, and Chase Winovich the same. So, yeah, and then same with the backers, same with the secondary. They compete, young, but they compete.
Last question in the front, Adam.
Jim, seems like when you go with a quarterback, you put all your confidence in him. You did it with Wilton. You did it with John. I'm just wondering how difficult was it when you made the decision that you were going to, maybe move toward Brandon and give him shots? How difficult was that for you personally? I guess, throughout your career, have you ever had kind of juggle a decision like that for this amount of time? Was it difficult for you to make?
No, and that's just what we felt was the right thing to do. We felt it was, when we made the decision he was going to play, that was the plan, and we stuck to the plan. So our decisions is difficult. We got our coaches there too. I mean, nobody looks at it more than or thinks about that more than I do. And our coaches do. So, and they've done a great job, and he's done a great job getting himself ready.
What was the discussion like with John? I imagine that did you guys kind of lay it out to him like, John, something's got to happen, or we're going to go with Brandon? I mean, what was kind of, your guys' talk with John? And he knew this was coming eventually, right?
I told we told the whole team that that was going to happen on our team Monday meeting. That they would play and Brandon would play in the game.